So there's a story that went viral that I have to share with you because it says so much about our healthcare system. Kaiser Health News says more than 42% of the 9.5 million people diagnosed with cancer from 2000 to 2012 drained their life's assets within 2 years, according to a study published last year in the American Journal of Medicine. So basically, almost half of cancer patients went bankrupt and drained their life's assets. You know, there's this joke that was floating around on Twitter, and it's totally true, that you couldn't have the show Breaking Bad in other developed countries. Because when he gets diagnosed with cancer, the doctor would be like, okay, you start your treatment next Tuesday. Instead, he lives in the U.S., where he can't afford his cancer treatment, so he has to start selling crystal meth. And, you know, it seems almost like a flippant, glib thing that's a joke going around, but it's actually totally true. Like, that's what it's like. If he was in the UK, if he was in Australia, if he was in Canada, he would just get the treatment that he needs. I was watching David Dowell, the Rational National, who's another left-wing talk show host, and he was doing an interview, I think with the Progressive Voice, and he was talking about how I'm a Canadian. I literally never once in my life had to worry about healthcare. Ever. And I'm watching it like, damn, that must be super sweet. Because I've had lapses in my insurance, and, you know, sometimes you go to the doctor. One time I have coverage, okay? I have health insurance. I went to the doctor, I got blood work done, because it's a regular, like, every year, more like every other year I get it done or whatever. I get a bill in the mail a few weeks later for $900. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, oh, that's what your blood work costs. What? I thought that the checkup, you can get a once-a-year checkup and that's free. I thought that was part of Obamacare. But there's all these fucking fine print nonsense clauses of like, oh, but the blood work isn't the default. That's some extra shit that you got. Oh. Well, what the fuck? Then what's a checkup? Does he just take the fucking hammer thing and hit my knee a few times and say, your reflexes are good, now get out? Is that what it is? Is that what a normal checkup is? It's unconscionable. And I'm sure many of you have similar stories with your health insurance and how it's a nightmare. And listen, man, we're sick of it. Americans are sick of it. And the media can't gaslight us anymore. The Republican politicians can't gaslight us anymore. The corporate Democrats can't gaslight us anymore. We're being screwed. And it's time to fight back. And that's why there are no compromises coming up. Now it's time, Bernie 2020, and when he gets in there, he'll fight tooth and nail for this, and he'll do everything he can to get us Medicare for all. And we can't rest until we get it, because honestly, it's a no-brainer. When you create a civilized society and you start listing things off, what's going to be the commons, what's going to be funded by the public, what's going to be off the table, in the top 5 on that list is healthcare, and we're not even at that point. We don't even have that, and that's maddening, man. And then we get fucking insane facts like this, like nearly half of fucking cancer patients go bankrupt in 2 years, lose all their life's assets. And we act like this isn't a huge story. This is a gigantic story, but you're only going to hear about it on this show. It went viral on Twitter, because Twitter involves real people who are like, holy fuck. CNN won't talk about this, MSNBC won't talk about this, Fox News won't talk about it. If anything, when Wolf Blitzer does his town hall with Bernie, he framed everything from the perspective of the insurance companies and said, you're not going to let people keep their health insurance? What if they like it? This is the fucking system you're defending, asshole. This is the fucking system. More than 42% of the 9.5 million people diagnosed with cancer from 2000 to 2012 drained their life's assets within 2 years. It's so bad, you even have people who are like upper middle class people. One of them gets sick and they go bankrupt. So all poor people, you're done if this happens. All middle class people, you're done if this happens. Some upper middle class people, you're done if this happens. So only the rich are safe. Only the rich. And I bring up the fact all the time. I try to repeat it a lot so that you guys know it. But studies show anywhere from 32,000 to 45,000 Americans die every year because they don't have access to basic care. Whereas in other developed countries, that's not a thing. Medical bankruptcy is one of the top causes of bankruptcy in this country. That's not a thing in other developed countries. We're getting screwed, man. You need to know it. You need to know how broken our system is. And again, media doesn't talk about it. So you come here for the truth, but the truth is ugly. We need to fight back. We need to fix this. This should be a national scandal. but instead they'll talk about Michael Cohen's testimony, which is a story. We covered it a few times too. Don't get me wrong. We did some segments on it, but still, this is just as important, and it's going to get ignored, and it's maddening because we got to fix this. This is unsustainable. At least it's unsustainable if you give a shit about your fellow Americans.